Hey, this is Seth, and in this video, I'm going to talk about if visualization is a powerful or useful technique. Does it work? And I was inspired to do this because I was thinking about the fact that back in 2010, when I first discovered digital marketing, I used to have screensavers on my computer that looked like this, and absolutely no idea how I would actually get into be able to come to a place like this, or much less live there. But I had that image and vision in my mind for a long, long time. I think visualization is a misunderstood concept, and a lot of people oversimplify it. They think that if they just like have a vision board and they put a bunch of pictures of a big house up, it's going to somehow get them a house, and that's not how it works. It's it's a process that involves your subconscious mind and taking action. It's a very it's a very rich process. It's literally, I think a lot of people get deluded by things like The Secret into thinking that you can just kind of talk about your goals and just sort of, you can put a picture up and it's just going to happen. It's not how it works at all. You actually have to put in a lot of work and grow and have a lot of failures and successes to achieve whatever it is you're putting in your vision board and what you're visualizing. But that said, guys, I don't want to discount the power of the visualization. It's not just wishful thinking. It's literally like your mind and your thoughts do actually have power. They've actually done experiments with say like your thoughts actually have like a small charge, a magnetic charge. In fact, if you've ever been around a person, have you ever had a loved one who was in a shitty mood, and you could just tell? Maybe you're on the phone, you can just tell the feeling of the person is like negative. You can just feel it. Or you can just meet somebody and you can feel like, this person feels kind of negative. It's not your imagination. You're actually feeling their thoughts. Their thoughts actually have a certain weight to them and a certain power. And that is why things like positive thinking, visualization are powerful. It actually will start to magnetize and change things in your life. Like I was visualizing this back when I was like living, paycheck to paycheck or like on unemployment and like didn't know how to put a single website together. But things started coming into my life, like, learning about digital marketing, or a friend taking me to a seminar that I didn't know about to learn more about digital marketing, and then happening to realize that I could turn my skill sets into an actual job. And then, just like people and places just started showing up that were in alignment with what I was envisioning. And then I had to work my ass off to actually get a job, do well at it, and then eventually learning about how to put together an online course, and then having a vision to want to teach people how to get jobs in digital marketing, and then building that business, and then actually traveling out here to Asia to see what it was like. So there was a lot of work involved over a long period of time, but it started with a vision in my head. And so one of the things that most people need to do, and I'm moving because it's very hot here, is that when you have a vision in your life, something you want to achieve, you also have to examine the negative visions that you have. Because that's the thing nobody tells you, is that like people learn about positive visualization, and so I'm moving around to get away from the sun. They don't tell you that you actually have been using visualization your whole life. You've been using it negatively, most people. Especially, you think of how much people worry. Worry is negative goal setting. It's negative visualization. And most of us, if you're not being conscious about it, when people talk about visualization or positive visualization or anything like that, well, they should call it positive visualization versus negative. Because the average person is just unconscious, and they're using their mind, but for the wrong thing. Somebody's always worrying about something bad happening. Usually they end up attracting those types of bad things into their life. And people like that. People who always have a negative viewpoint, and they always seem to be having some kind of drama. And other people in your life who have a generally positive outlook, and things seem to go well for them. And if you're in a position where you are experiencing a challenge, or you want something to work out better for you, you have to start examining, well, what negative or fear-based visualization am I actually doing that's attracting and pulling these things into my existence? Back when I was broke and I had a different lifestyle, I was always focused and worried about not having enough money, and it would kind of perpetuate itself. And I didn't have a positive vision of like, this is what I want. I was always thinking about what I don't want, and life was very unpleasant and very desperate for me. And the vision And a lot of the inner work that I ended up doing on my mindset and my psychology started to shift things to the point where over time I ended up earning more money and having more freedom and flexibility. But I had to really take accountability and responsibility for what images were being held in my head, and then that affected how I felt and how I occurred to other people, and it just changed how everything worked. But if you guys want to know like how to take advantage of this, the first thing you really have to do is clean out and examine the negative visualization that you're doing first. A lot of people, what they try to do is they try to do positive visualization on top of unconscious negative visualization, and that's how you end up with these. This is why people get repelled by it, and why it seems really fake, is because you get people walking around, they're like, I'm going to make $1 million next year, and they made like 10, they're like living, they're broke, and they're like, I'm going to make $1 million, I'm going to get a mansion, and they're like smiling, and they're like fake. It's fake. They're trying to like it's like putting paint, what do they got, lipstick on a pig. You're not actually examining the fact that you're trying to create this big vision on top of a negative vision, which is probably something like, oh my God, I'm broke, I hope this works out, I don't know how I'm going to make my next paycheck, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent, and you're standing there going, I'm going to make all this money and I'm going to have all these great things happen, and it doesn't produce results because you're conflicted. It's not congruent. You actually have to do some work to dig in there and like take accountability for the fact that, hey, I've got some negative thought patterns, and do some whatever type of visualization you want to do, or whatever type of personal growth exercises you want to do to actually dissipate some of that negativity, or at least be accountable for it. Say, you know what, I've had negative thought patterns in the past, but now I'm working to change them. But if you ignore them completely, you end up putting out this mixed message to, not just to the universe, but to other people. People can tell if you're full of it or not. That's why I think people resonate with my program. What I'm teaching is because I give people a really realistic vision that they can believe in. And it really hits them on a very visceral level. This is something I can do. It's in a realistic time frame. I'm not like, I'm going to make $1 million in 30 days, which is completely fake. And also will bring up all those negative fears, because a part of you knows that it's not real. There's a lot of different techniques you can use to dissipate negative beliefs and emotions, but tapping, EFT, or emotional freedom technique, seems to be one of the most mainstream and effective ways to do that. I'll put a link in the video. Basically, it's a process of tapping a bunch of acupuncture points on your head and your neck while you say certain affirmations. Now, if you just say affirmations, that doesn't tend to be very effective, because it's just not. It's almost like you're like saying, I'm happy, when you're really not happy, and there's no connection to anything deeper. But if you do the way they have these processes set up with the tapping on the acupuncture point, that actually shifts your energy in a particular way. And it sounds kind of wacky, but it's actually quite effective. Again, acknowledging negative thought patterns and doing something to actually try to dissipate them is really the main thing I think that you need to do before you start doing your positive visualization. I mean, it's possible to do positive visualization. If you become very strong at it, you can just overcome the negative stuff. But I think the reason a lot of people fail at it is that they just aren't being real. Like I had to when I first started changing my financial situation, the first step, which was the hardest, was I had to acknowledge that I was the cause of being broke, and I had all these really negative patterns, and I was going to be accountable for them. Before that, I had tried to I had done that stuff, the vision boards, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be successful. But I wasn't really saying, you know what, I've been causing and sabotaging myself for years, and I'm the one doing it, and I'm the one going to fix it, that's going to fix it. I wasn't responsible or aware of the negative stuff. And I'm not saying you should dwell on the negative stuff, you just got to be real about it, guys. It's like any authentic conversation where there's real transformation, there has to be a level of accountability. And even watch a TV show or a movie, there's always a point where somebody's trying to resist something or avoid something, and eventually they're like, they have a fight with their partner, and then they go, you know what, you were right, I'm sorry, I was acting like a jerk, I really didn't mean to do that, let's work through this. And it's like that with yourself, where it's like, people are living in fear or some type of resentment or anger or something negative, and they're trying to do everything they can to avoid it, or maybe even smile over it. But the moment that you actually acknowledge it and accept it, say, you know what, yeah, I've been really, really negative or fearful about money. I actually have been. And you know what? That's okay. I accept that. And it starts to dissipate the fear around it. You do something like EFT, you dissipate the charge around it, and that gives you more space to then create something positive rather than trying to smile your way over it. So anyways, visualization, as you can see, is powerful. It does work. I specifically had this vision, I want want to live on a beach. I want to work from my computer. I don't want to work in an office. And, you know, it's happened for me. It's happened for a lot of other people, and it can happen for you if you do it the right way. So I hope you found this to be a little bit insightful. I definitely want to encourage you in pursuing whatever it is that you are envisioning, because you do have power. Your mind is powerful. Your thoughts, your emotions are very powerful. You just want to make sure that you're 100% accountable for everything you're putting out there, both the positive and maybe the subconscious negative stuff, so you can be the most effective in creating the life that you want. So I hope you found this video helpful. Feel free to leave comments or questions below, and I will see you in the next video.